Snark Squad. Um, Babes,
We are so ready for this.
it is Tuesday evening. The mojitos flowing.
Oh, they are absolutely flowing.
And babes, we are spiraling, like fully spiraling right now.
It's bad. It's a bad spiral.
And honestly, we need to spill some tea.
We have to. It's an emergency at this point.
Today, we decided that we are exposing ourselves, like
Well-
fully, emotionally, financially, spiritually.
I am already bracing myself for the fallout of this.
Okay, confession number one.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I have a Feed Finder account.
Okay. I am stunned into silence. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I have so many questions.
Babes, it is being shut down
Mhm.
immediately
Mhm.
because of requests. Unhinged.
I mean, what were you expecting?
And also, $0 made.
Hmm.
Zero. Feet pics. Not the easy money we thought it was.
Oh, my God.
I really thought I was going to be entering this, like, luxurious passive income lifestyle, like funding my entire soft girl existence by just painting my toes a cute shade of Essie ballet slippers.
Right, just a simple transaction.
Yes. But no. The DMs I received, bestie, one guy literally wanting me to step on a customized arrangement of gummy bears.
A customized arrangement.
Yes. And squish them between my toes and then mail him the crushed candy in a vacuum-sealed bag.
Oh, the logistics of that alone are a nightmare.
Another guy wanted me to describe the exact, precise acoustic sound my heels make walking on a linoleum floor at 2 in the morning. Who are these people?
Okay, see, I need to look at the psychology of your approach here. Because you walked into this chaotic ecosystem expecting, like, a pristine garden.
I just wanted to be a financial girly.
But you fundamentally misunderstood the anatomy of the internet's darkest corners. It's not 2018 anymore. You can't just post a blurry picture of a French pedicure and expect people to throw money at you.
Wait, why not?
Because the ecosystem has evolved. It's an arms race of specificity now. Anyone with a pumice stone and an iPhone is on there. You didn't establish a distinct persona.
A persona.
Yes. Are you the dominant, authoritative heel stomper? Are you the coy, ticklish arch flexor? You were trying to be a generalist in a highly specialized environment. It's a failed business model. You failed to secure the venture capital from the foot fetishists because your ROI was non-existent.
Wait, hold on. Do not blame my lack of a quote-unquote pedicure persona for the fact that a man wanted me to measure my big toe with a standard yellow school ruler and harsh fluorescent lighting.
I'm just saying the market demands precision.
Well, the emotional toll was too high. The sheer psychic damage of reading these messages. I can't. The account is deleted, burned to the ground.
Probably for the best.
The earth is salted.
Yeah.
But do not look at me with that judgmental gaze, bestie, because you have a confession too. Confession number 2.
I am already regretting whatever amount of rum gave me the courage to tell you this off mic.
You have a lucky tooth.
I do. It's true. I own it.
Not in your mouth. In your pocket, like a coin. A literal human tooth.
Okay, you're making it sound like I'm a serial killer.
Both dentists. And one of us is losing IT. I am hyperventilating. Where did it come from? Why is it lucky? How long has this pocket tooth situation been happening behind my back?
Please take a deep breath. You're disrupting the peace of the room.
I need to sage the apartment. I need an exorcism for your handbag.
It is my own wisdom tooth, first of all. Let's establish that biological baseline.
Still gross.
I didn't extract it from a Victorian grave in the dead of night. I had it surgically removed years ago. The oral surgeon asked if I wanted to keep it, and I said sure. And over time, I just realized that every time I happened to have it in my purse, the universe just yielded better results.
Yielded better results.
Yes, I'd get a free coffee, or the weather would clear up, or someone would cancel plans I desperately wanted to avoid anyway. It is simply a physical talisman, a piece of my own calcium acting as a magnet for positive serendipity.
It is witchcraft. It is biological warfare. You are carrying a loose piece of skeletal remains in your Bottega Veneta.
It's compartmentalized.
What happens if you go to pay for a matcha latte, you reach into your bag, and you just hand the barista a literal human tooth instead of a quarter?
I wouldn't do that. It's in a tiny emerald green velvet pouch. For your information, I'm not a savage letting it collect lin.
The hygiene implications alone are sending me into a full-blown spiral. Is it rolling around next to your lip gloss?
Historically speaking, carrying remnants of oneself or loved ones is a deeply rooted human tradition. Think of Victorian mourning jewelry.
I am rejecting that historical context entirely.
I
It
see.
is a tooth.
In
A bag. Okay, you know what? We've shared enough secrets for one night.
Agreed. My reputation is in shambles.
So, babes, show some love. Send this to a friend.
Yes, please.
But drink check. Mojitos.
Oh, thank God.
Babes, they are amazing tonight.
Exquisite. Truly a triumph of mixology.
We really perfected the mint to rum ratio tonight.
Oh.
So I feel like sometimes a mojito can taste like you are literally drinking a tube of Crest toothpaste.
Right, like mouthwash.
Exactly. But this is balanced. It's sweet, but not cloying. The rum is just sneaking up on me in the best way possible. It is the absolute elite soft girl era cocktail.
The simple syrup integration is the true hero here. You don't want granular sugar crunching at the bottom of the glass, much like my lucky tooth, I suppose.
Oh my God, stop.
You want a seamless, invisible infusion of sweetness. And the muddle, you have to respect the mint leaves. You bruise them gently to release the oils. You don't obliterate them into a swampy pulp.
Speaking of things that are delicate and perfect, we went downstairs
Anyway.
to the bakery. And babes, apple turnovers.
Unbelievable.
Life-changing. I am speechless. The structural integrity of the flakiness.
The pastry to filling ratio was mathematically flawless.
Yeah.
Because usually a bakery will overcompensate with too much apple compote to hide a dry, lackluster, underbuttered dough. But this dough, laminated to absolute perfection, you bite into it and it shatters.
It shatters. It's an auditory experience.
It really is.
I am absolutely obsessed. I could eat 6 of them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, we're doing the opposite of manifesting.
We really are.
Eating like this, confessing our darkest, weirdest secrets like this.
Yeah.
And still wanting a sugar daddy, wanting a summer body.
We are operating at a severe caloric surplus while demanding a fiscal surplus from a hypothetical patriarchal benefactor.
Look, we are a walking contradiction. It defies all logic.
Right.
Maybe Amanda Francis can teach us how to actually manifest. Because, babes, we need help.
We are lost in the sauce.
We really are. But you know what? Our delusion about wanting a summer body while eating apple turnovers actually pales in comparison to the absolute delusion happening in the Hamptons right now.
It is a full-blown systemic collapse of human reasoning.
Yes. The cast of Summer House is operating on a level of cognitive dissonance that belongs in a medical journal.
Let's dive into the recap because the sheer volume of psychological projection we witnessed this week requires a thorough excavation.
We have to start with Lindsay's housewarming party. Walk with me, Biggs.
Yeah.
We're stepping into Lindsay's brand new, stunning apartment.
It is a nice apartment, I'll give her that.
The vibes are high, the drinks are flowing, she looks incredible. But I swear to God, we need to start a drinking game.
Oh boy.
Every single time Lindsay refers to Carl as, quote, my ex-fiancé, the Snark squad needs to take a sip of their mojito.
Please issue a public health warning right now. Do not do that. You will literally succumb to alcohol poisoning within the first 7 minutes of the episode.
She cannot stop saying it. Welcome to the apartment I once shared with my ex-fiancé. Hey, don't date my ex-fiancé.
It's a verbal tick.
It is. She wears it like a badge of honor, but also like a shield.
Yeah.
But the part that made me want to crawl out of my skin, scream into a pillow, and throw my television into the Hudson River.
Ah, the matchmaking sequence.
Yes. Lindsay actively cornering Bailey on the couch. She is sitting there, sipping her drink, trying to look completely unbothered, and she turns to Bailey and casually says, you should send him, like, a sexy nude photo.
To Carl.
To Carl.
Yeah.
Her ex-fiancé. I was pausing the screen, gasping for air.
A masterclass in controlling the narrative through sheer force of will.
Is Lindsay trying to live vicariously through Bailey? Is she just completely unhinged in her matchmaking era? What is the actual motive here? Because she was just crying over this man.
Let's analyze the architecture of Lindsay's defensive mechanisms. Lindsay never does anything without a protective spin or a desire for control. Ever.
Right.
She is looking at the landscape of the house and seeing a variable she cannot control, which is Carl moving on. So how does she neutralize the threat of being the discarded, pathetic ex-fiancé?
She orchestrates it herself.
Exactly. If she is the one setting Carl up with Bailey, she retains the power dynamic. She morphs from the victim of a broken engagement into the omniscient puppet master. By suggesting something as aggressively intimate as a nude photo, she's testing Bailey's boundaries.
And proving how cool she is.
Yes, proving to the rest of the room and the cameras how over it she is.
Okay, I push back on that a little. I don't think she's some evil genius puppet master. I think she's just deeply, deeply insecure and panicked.
Panicked is definitely a factor.
It screamed of overcompensation. She wants everyone to think she is so breezy, but the market is not buying this supportive ex rebrand. It was so cringe, Bailey looked utterly terrified.
Bailey wanted to melt into the upholstery.
She really did. I mean, Lindsay, babes, you do not need to play pimp for a man you were just screaming at 3 weeks ago.
Well, whether it's genius or panic, the result is the same. It's an attempt to manage her environment because her internal environment is in shambles.
Exactly. But let's move across the living room. Because while Lindsay is trying to force Baylor to send nudes, Bailey has her own massive mess to clean up. We need to completely dissect the Dara, Bailey, and Ben triangle of gaslighting.
Well, this was rough. Because the word gaslighting gets thrown around in reality TV like confetti, usually incorrectly.
Totally.
But in this specific instance, Ben's behavior is a textbook clinical case study in narrative manipulation.
100%. So let's set the stage. Dara and Bailey finally sit down to clear the air because the rumor mill was churning that Dara was in Ben's room for an hour, alone, with the door closed. And Bailey, who is not afraid of confrontation, brings it up directly. And Dara's actually surprisingly chill about it.
Yeah.
She admits, yeah, I was changing out of my costume, my suitcase was in there, Ben ducked in.
They both acknowledged they were flirting all day.
Exactly. Dara essentially says they were testing the waters. It was a vibe.
And Bailey's response during this conversation is crucial to her character development. She says, I might be extremely dramatic, but I'm not a liar.
Iconic.
Which is arguably the most self-aware, iconic reality TV statement we've heard this season. She owns her histrionics. She knows she is loud and reactive, but she vehemently defends her factual reporting.
I loved it. She said, where do I come into this? Bailey is a star for that line alone. But the absolute shade of it all is how Ben handled this entire situation leading up to that conversation.
He handled it terribly.
Terribly. Because when Bailey originally brought this up to Ben days ago, pointing out the obvious chemistry and the fact that they were secluded in his room, Ben totally shut her down.
He rewrote history right in front of her face.
He acted like Bailey was crazy, like she was conjuring this narrative out of thin air, and swore he and Dara had zero chemistry. He made Bailey look like a malicious rumor starter.
Let's dissect Ben's ego, because it is as fragile as blown glass. Ben operates under the delusion that he is the quintessential, respectful, in-control gentleman.
Oh.
But his fragile masculinity could not handle the reality of what actually happened, which is that he pursued a woman in the house. He cornered her in a room, and it didn't immediately result in a sweeping, cinematic romance.
She didn't fall at his feet.
Right. When Dara didn't instantly fall to her knees and declare him the king of the Hamptons, his ego bruised. So how does a fragile man handle rejection? He denies the event ever occurred.
It's so dark.
He behaves like a dictator erasing a failed military campaign from the history books. He threw the whistleblower Bailey under the bus to protect his own self-image. As Dara so brilliantly put it, they all get their feelings hurt when they get rejected.
It is so pathetic. He made Bailey feel insane for simply observing reality. But suddenly, it all makes perfect, crystal clear sense when the doors to the party open and in walks Sabrina.
The Phantom Menace, the secret girlfriend.
The timeline is so sketchy, bestie. So Ben brings Sabrina to the party. He's introducing her to everyone like she's a shiny new toy. And they say they met back in March, kind of fizzled out, reconnected recently, and suddenly she is dropping the I love you bomb on camera.
Very fast, very suspicious.
Ben was acting so jittery and nervous, literally sweating, saying he was nervous as bleep because she gave him another chance. But the Snark squad on Reddit has been doing the Lord's work, and we need to talk about the swim fan theory.
Shout out to the internet sleuths. Their forensic timeline accounting is truly Pulitzer-worthy. But for anyone who wasn't a teenager in the early 2000s, please explain the swim fan reference.
Right. Okay. So Swim Fan is this 2002 teen thriller movie where Jesse Bradford is a star swimmer, and this new girl, played by Erica Christensen, becomes completely obsessed with him.
Obsessed is an understatement.
She infiltrates his life, stalks him, befriends his friends, and tries to ruin everything so she can have him. Total unhinged stalker energy. And that is exactly what the internet thinks Sabrina's doing, but with Ben's enthusiastic participation.
The theory is that Ben and Sabrina were together the whole time.
Yes, that Ben went on this show pretending to be single, playing the field just to do recon. He was gathering intel on all the cast members, figuring out the dynamics of the house, securing his spot on the call sheet.
And then he parachutes his secret girlfriend in midway through the season to secure a wholesome romance storyline.
Exactly. It's a calculated deployment.
Think about the architecture of his strategy. If you bring a girlfriend in on day one of a reality show, she's an outsider, she's fresh meat,
She'd get eaten alive.
easily targeted by the veterans, and your relationship is instantly under a microscope. But if you go in single, establish yourself as a core cast member, build alliances, and then introduce the girlfriend under the guise of a rekindled romance, you've already built a protective fortress around your relationship.
It's giving Andrea reheating his old nachos. Remember when Andrea Denver brought back his ex Lexi? and they rekindled their romance on camera. It's exactly that storyline.
Yes, the reheating the nachos maneuver. But here's the critical difference. Andrea was genuinely charming. He was an emotional Italian man crying over his lost love, so the audience bought it.
But we ate it up.
Ben's strategy feels sterile, premeditated, and entirely self-serving. And frankly, Sabrina's behavior at the party, it was a total reconnaissance failure. She blew her cover completely.
She knew way too much. She walks into this party knowing everything about everyone.
Too much intel.
She's hyping up Ciara. She's giving deep personalized advice to Amanda. She's giving major stalker energy like, I have been watching you from the bushes with binoculars for 6 months.
Exactly. When you infiltrate a new social ecosystem, you have to feign ignorance. You say, oh, nice to meet you. What do you do for fun? You don't walk up to a veteran cast member and immediately start diagnosing the structural flaws in their marriage based on footage you clearly studied like it was a final exam. It was highly calculated but poorly executed.
It was so embarrassing to watch. But Sabrina's overeager fan behavior leads directly to the biggest crime of the night.
Oh.
The moment that made me want to hide behind my couch cushion.
Oh, God. Amanda.
Amanda's pick-me pot stirring.
A catastrophic, unforced error. It was like watching someone purposefully drive their car into a brick wall at 2 miles per hour.
So Sabrina's actually being sweet to Amanda. Overbearing, yes. A little weird, yes.
Yeah.
But sweet. She's telling Amanda she just wants her to be happy, trying to give her a pep talk about her incredibly depressing marriage with Kyle.
And how does Amanda respond to this olive branch?
She looks dead in Sabrina's eyes with zero prompting and says, everyone in the house thinks Ben is in love with me.
The silence that followed that statement. You could hear a pin drop in that crowded apartment. The sheer audacity of a woman in a failing marriage trying to artificially inflate her own desirability by devaluing someone else's brand new relationship.
Why would she say that? It was the most desperate, validation-seeking comment I have ever heard. What was the goal?
It's a parasitic move. Amanda is starved for affection and validation in her own life. Kyle treats her like an annoying intern.
He really does.
So when she sees this new, happy, shiny couple, she can't stand it. Instead of fixing her own relationship, she tries to siphon the joy out of Sabrina's. She wants to plant a seed of doubt so she can feel a fleeting sense of power and desirability. It's the behavior of someone who is deeply, profoundly unhappy.
And Ben does not play. He didn't wait to address it. He didn't let it simmer and bring it up 3 days later at a dinner party.
Swift execution.
He instantly pulled Amanda's side to check her. He literally said it was a bit shit of her to say. And Amanda gave those signature deer in headlights. Giant bug eyes.
Like she couldn't believe she was being held accountable for the words that just fell out of her own mouth 30 seconds prior.
Because Amanda is accustomed to an environment, specifically her dynamic with Kyle, where bad behavior, passive aggression, and whining are met with excuses and eventual sweeping under the rug.
Exactly. She is not used to a man with strict boundaries enforcing them in real time. Ben identified a toxic element threatening his relationship, and he eradicated it swiftly.
I loved it. I was cheering for Ben in that moment, even though I think he's shady. It is so dark that Amanda is seeking validation from a man in a completely new relationship because the man she is legally married to treats her like an afterthought.
Which brings us perfectly to the lunch date.
Because if you thought the delusion was bad at the party, wait until we get to the restaurant. We have Lindsay, Mia, and Amanda grabbing lunch in the city. And babes, the delusion at this table could power the entire eastern seaboard.
The TikTok contract lunch. A pivotal moment in the history of reality television delusion.
Amanda is sitting there, wearing a cute little sweater, sipping her drink, and casually mentioning that couples therapy is their last option.
She literally says, out loud to her friends, if paying someone doesn't fix it, what are we doing?
I'll tell you what you're doing, Amanda. You're calling a divorce lawyer. That's what you're doing. If your marriage requires a salaried professional just to facilitate a baseline conversation without someone storming out or calling the other a beep bitch, the foundation is rotten.
Therapy is not a magic wand that erases years of resentment. It's a mirror. And what that mirror is going to show Kyle and Amanda is a reflection of two people who despise each other.
I don't understand how she doesn't see it. She is completely detached from reality. She says it so flippantly, like she's talking about hiring a plumber to fix a leaky sink.
But then, juxtaposed with Amanda's sinking ship of a marriage, we have Mia.
And Mia is just breaking my heart and putting it back together all in one scene.
Mia provided the emotional anchor this episode desperately needed.
She really did. She opens up about losing both of her parents. She is part of the Dead Parents Club, which is a horrible club to be in.
Tragic.
It is so heavy. And she talks about how this profound loss gives her this intense anticipatory grief. She has this deep, primal need for stability because she knows how quickly the rug can be pulled out from under you.
So, to manage this, she reveals her contract with her chef boyfriend, Scott. He cannot be away for more than 10 days at a time.
It is a fascinating psychological defense mechanism. On paper, establishing a 10-day limit sounds like incredibly healthy boundary setting. She understands her trauma, she understands her triggers, and she is proactively managing her partner's expectations.
Right, so she doesn't spiral into an abandonment panic.
Exactly. And Lindsay, Bessie, the second Mia says the word contract, Lindsay's eyes practically light up like slot machines.
She was activated.
She instantly brings up her own infamous relationship timeline. She literally points and says, "TikTok, motherfucker." It was such a throwback to her early seasons. I was screaming.
Lindsay loves nothing more than a rigid schedule applied to a romantic relationship. She sensed a kindred spirit in the art of controlling men through strict scheduling.
But let's look at the reality of Mia's 10-day rule.
Executing a 10-day physical proximity clause with a professional chef who travels constantly between Los Angeles and Miami is logistically nightmarish.
Totally. It's a beautifully drafted emotional boundary that her partner might physically and professionally be unable to fulfill. The friction there is inevitable.
But the vulnerability it took for Mia to explain why she needs that rule, the tears in her eyes when talking about wanting a present father for her future children because hers is gone. Incredible television. It strips away the superficial Hamptons nonsense and grounds the entire show in real human stakes.
It was beautiful because you go from Mia talking so poetically about her mother directly into the absolute catastrophic implosion of Carl and Kyle's friendship.
Cinematic whiplash.
Babes, I was clutching my chest. So let's lay out the facts. It is the 5-year anniversary of Carl's brother's passing. A deeply traumatic, significant day for Carl. A day where you need your chosen family.
And what does Kyle do?
Kyle completely spaces, doesn't text him, doesn't call, doesn't send a carrier pigeon, nothing. But gee. Kyle does manage to find the time to post an Instagram story for Lindsay's birthday, which happens to fall around the same time.
It is a profound failure of basic human empathy. You neglect your oldest friend on his most vulnerable day of the year, but you make sure to publicly pay lip service to his volatile ex-fiancé. The optics are incredibly cruel.
And the excuses. I cannot handle the excuses. Kyle's talking to Wes later, trying to justify his silence, and he literally says he didn't text Carl because he was doing laundry.
Well, India.
I screamed at my television. I stood up. You are a 40-something-year-old man. You run a beverage company. You are on your phone 24/7, and you couldn't send a 10-second text message because your khakis were in the spin cycle.
Are you washing your clothes in a river with a washboard?
Exactly. And then when he finally talks to Carl face-to-face, he changes the excuse entirely. He says he spaced because he was so paralyzed by fear of Lindsay's wrath if he didn't post for her birthday that it consumed all his mental energy.
This is Kyle's signature avoidance tactic. Blame the loudest, most aggressive woman in the room for his own shortcomings. He uses the phantom menace of Lindsay's temper to justify his own emotional negligence toward his best friend.
It's cowardly.
He uses laundry as a mundane shield to trivialize the situation, and when that doesn't work, he pivots to playing the victim of Lindsay's hypothetical rage.
And Carl sees right through it. Finally, Carl is talking to Jesse and Ben, and he delivers the read of the century behind Kyle's back. He says the first thing he's grabbing as the house gets set on fire is his DJ equipment, not one of our hands.
That statement is poetry. It cuts through years of Bravo facade to expose the very core of Kyle's pathology. Kyle is an entertainer and a brand promoter first, and a friend a distant third.
He values his props, his mullet, his DJ decks, his Loverboy merch, more than the human beings who have supported him.
Carl diagnosing this out loud to the newer cast members represents a massive shift in the power dynamics of the house. The blinders are off.
So it all leads to the confrontation at the mini golf course. Picture it.
Huh.
Neon lights, putters in hand. A ridiculous setting for a serious conversation.
Very serious.
Carl is literally towering over Kyle. He is a giant compared to him. But you can see Carl stuttering. He is physically struggling to push the words out of his mouth. Kyle is instantly defensive, crossing his arms, throwing up walls, giving his dry little "I just spaced man" apology.
And then we get that confessional from Carl.
The most raw, unfiltered, heartbreaking moment of the season. Carl looks at the camera and says he wishes he had a bottle of rosé and a line of cocaine just so he could scream at Kyle. Just so he could find the courage to say, "fuck you."
The Dusty, my heart dropped into my stomach. It is a profound admission about the mechanics of addiction, especially within the context of reality television. For years, Carl relied on substances to bypass his own emotional regulation systems. Cocaine and alcohol were the fuel that allowed him to perform the aggression and the confrontation required to be a star on Bravo.
He used them to lower his inhibitions and fight.
Right. Now, as sober Carl, he has the clarity and self-awareness to recognize Kyle's toxic behavior, but he lacks the chemically synthesized courage to execute the confrontation. He is trapped in this painful liminal space.
He knows he deserves better, but he lacks the verbal artillery to defend himself without his old crutches. It is heartbreaking.
It is, but it is also a massive testament to his actual genuine recovery that he didn't relapse just to win a reality TV argument. He stood there, awkwardly towering over the defensive man-child, gripping a neon putter, and chose the intense discomfort of stuttering and struggling over the easy comfort of the crutch.
That is what real growth looks like. He chose the hard path. It was so uncomfortable to watch, but it was real life.
It was real.
And honestly, we need a palate cleanser after that heavy, dark, toxic friendship drama. We need to talk about our queen, Ciara. Because while the boys are fighting over laundry and DJ decks, Ciara is building a literal real estate empire.
She's elevating herself completely out of the Hamptons mud.
She bought her grandparents' home in Belmont, North Carolina. She wants to keep it in the family. She wants to build generational wealth.
We love to see it.
We get this beautiful, intimate scene with her mom, and we find out she literally had to fight for this house in a grueling court battle. And the kicker, her estranged dad doesn't even know she bought it. He is going to find out by watching Bravo on his couch.
It is the ultimate reclamation of power. It is incredibly significant, especially given the historical context she referenced. She spoke about her family's history, moving from being considered property to actually owning property within 5 generations separated from slavery.
It elevates her narrative to a completely different stratosphere. While Amanda is whining about couples therapy and Kyle's pouting over his DJ equipment, Ciara is securing a physical, generational legacy. The contrast in maturity is staggering.
She is playing chess while the rest of them are playing checkers in the dirt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect segue into our first segment. Babes, it is time for segment 1, Party Fouls.
Let the judgment commence.
The theme is simple. Who embarrassed themselves the most this week? Who made us cringe the hardest? We have 3 prime candidates. Candidate 1 is Kyle Cooke for making his best friend's profound grief about his own laundry cycle, and then getting entirely defensive and shifting the blame when called out on it.
A catastrophic failure of empathy.
Candidate 2 is Amanda Batula for the absolute mind-boggling, unforced error of telling a brand new woman your boyfriend is in love with me. The sheer concentrated pick-me desperation of it all.
A total devaluation of her own dignity for a fleeting moment of male attention.
And candidate 3 is Lindsay Hubbard for playing aggressive pimp at her own housewarming party and demanding Bailey send nude photos to her ex-fiancé while aggressively sipping cocktails in her new apartment.
Deeply uncomfortable overcompensation. So who takes the crown?
Bestie, we have to debate this. Because my heart screams Amanda. I was physically cringing. The second she said it, I wanted the ground to open up and swallow her.
He was bad.
I wanted to turn off the TV. It is so deeply embarrassing to be a married woman constantly crying about how your husband ignores you and then trying to assert dominance over a newbie by claiming her man wants you. It's giving high school mean girl who peaked at prom and never left her hometown. It is pathetic.
I hear your argument regarding Amanda's cringe factor, but I have to push back. I advocate for Kyle taking the ultimate party foul crown.
Wait, really?
Hear me out. Amanda's behavior is pathetic, yes, but it stems from a place of deep, untreated insecurity resulting directly from the hostile environment Kyle has created in their marriage. She's acting out because she is starved.
Okay, that's fair.
Kyle's behavior toward Carl, on the other hand, represents a fundamental moral failing. To forget the anniversary of your best friend's brother's death is bad. To excuse it with laundry is insulting. To then pivot and blame your ex-friend Lindsay's birthday for occupying your brain space is manipulative.
It is so manipulative.
Kyle's emotional deficit is actively harming the people who love him most. Amanda is just a symptom of the Kyle Cooke disease.
Wow. Okay, when you put it like that, the laundry really is the nail in the coffin. It's so dismissive. It's like Carl's trauma was a minor inconvenience to his chore wheel.
You know what? You win. Kyle Cooke, you are the ultimate party foul of the week. Fix your life.
And please, for the love of God, fix your mullet.
And the mullet. Burn the mullet. Okay, moving on to segment 2. Summer fling or flop. We are putting these relationships under the microscope. Which ones are real and which ones are pure reality TV fiction designed to keep us watching? First up, Ben and Sabrina.
Let's run the diagnostics. Is this a genuine sweep-you-off-your-feet love story? Or is this a premeditated Bravo casting strategy?
Right.
Are they going the distance? Or is Sabrina going to boil a bunny on Ben's stove like a real-life swim fan?
I predict a massive flop. The behavior points to a highly orchestrated rollout. Ben entering the house as a single man allowed him to establish his alliances without the burden of protecting a partner. Once his position was secure, he initiated the Sabrina protocol.
The Sabrina protocol.
But Sabrina's entry was way too hot. I just want you to be happy to absolute strangers. Dropping I love you so early on camera while Ben looks like he wants to flee the country. It reads as performative. Ben wants a compliant partner who makes him look good. Sabrina looks like a wild card who is going to blow up his carefully curated image. Flop.
I completely agree. It is a complete flop. It feels so produced, like a bad audition tape. Okay, what about Carl and Bailey? The awkward mini-golf banter. Do they actually have chemistry, or are they just trauma bonding over the fact that their roommates are absolutely chaotic?
They are two battered ships passing in a very toxic night. Carl is reeling from the Kyle situation and the ghost of Lindsay. Bailey is reeling from the Ben gaslighting.
Right.
The mini-golf flirting is cute, it's low stakes, and it gives them both a distraction. But it lacks long-term viability. I say fling, but a necessary healing one.
I actually think it's a fling too, but I kind of love it.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to just make out in the pantry once, completely off mic, and get it out of their systems.
Yeah.
It would drive Lindsay insane, even though she literally told them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the big one. Kyle and Amanda, the marital flop.
We need to dedicate a moment of silence for the years wasted in this union.
Dissect the therapy as a last resort comment for me one more time. Is this marriage a sinking ship that not even Bravo checks can keep afloat?
The Bravo paycheck is a powerful glue, but it cannot fix a fundamentally broken dynamic. When Amanda publicly declares that a therapist is the absolute final step before walking away, she is telling us she has already checked out. They resent each other deeply.
They really do.
Kyle resents Amanda's lack of hustle and ambition. Amanda resents Kyle's lack of respect and his Peter Pan syndrome. They are trapped in a sunk cost fallacy. They have invested too many years and too much of their brand identity into Amanda to walk away easily, but the internal rot is severe. It is a massive historic flop.
It's honestly depressing to watch. I just want Amanda to pack up her neutral tone sweatpants, take the dogs, and leave. Finally, Mia and Scott. Is the 10-day contract a healthy boundary for someone with anticipatory grief, or a red flag recipe for a chef's lifestyle?
This is complex. The contract is a brilliant mechanism for self-preservation. Mia knows her trauma triggers. However, implementing a rigid 10-day rule with the traveling chef is asking for trouble. It requires a level of strict adherence that his career may simply not allow. I classify this as a tentative fling with a very high potential for a flop if they don't learn how to be flexible.
I just want Mia to have her babies and be happy. I'm rooting for her so hard. Okay, babes, let's look at the power dynamics. Segment 3, house hierarchy. Who runs the house right now? Who actually has the power to dictate the vibe?
Let's assess the social currency.
Top tier. It has to be Ciara and Mia. Ciara is practically untouchable. She is buying property, she is ignoring her haters, and she looked absolutely fabulous crying outside of Hermes in a white dress in those paparazzi photos.
Crying outside of a luxury Parisian goods store while looking flawless is the ultimate flex of aesthetic dominance.
Right, and Mia is the MVP newbie. She is seamlessly integrating into the group. Without being a tryhard, she is providing real, raw emotional depth, and her reaction faces in the background of everyone else's drama are incredible.
They hold the highest social capital. Ciara has transcended the petty drama by focusing on real-world legacy building, and Mia has grounded the narrative with authentic vulnerability. Everyone respects them.
Okay, mid-tier. Somehow West has entered the chat. He has become the Kyle whisperer. He is inserting himself as the mediator between Carl and Kyle. Is he playing the game perfectly, or is he getting too involved in a war that isn't his?
West is functioning as the neutral party trying to broker peace between two warring factions. It's a risky play. If he successfully helps them reconcile, his status rises. But if the negotiations fail, he risks absorbing the collateral damage and alienating one or both of them.
Ooh, true?
He's hovering in the mid-tier, leveraging his goofy charm, but the impending rumors about his behavior with other women are going to threaten that nice guy neutrality very soon.
Yes, the foreshadowing is so real. We see the cracks forming. And then, bottom tier. It pains me to say it, but it's Kyle and Amanda. Their energy is dragging the entire house down into a miserable swamp. They used to be the anchors of Summer House. They were the fun couple. Now they are just a dead weight.
Their vibes are completely compromised. They are a black hole sucking the fun out of the room.
But let me push back on this. Let's debate this, bestie. Who really holds the social capital? If the house physically split in two today, right now, line in the sand, who would everyone follow? Would they follow Ciara and Mia into the new era? Or would the gravitational pull of the OG drama drag them back to Kyle and Amanda?
It's a battle of legacy versus momentum. Kyle controls the legacy. He has the historical ties, he throws the parties, he dominates the screen time, he is the loud center of gravity.
That's true.
But Ciara and Mia have the momentum. If a hard split happened today, the smart move is to follow Ciara. The house is deeply fatigued by the Kaimanda volatility. People are seeking stable, interesting energy, and Ciara's independent wealth-building era is far more aspirational and attractive than Kyle's DJ equipment defense strategy.
I think you are exactly right. We want aspirational, not depressing.
Yeah.
We want to see a gorgeous girl in North Carolina flipping a family house, not a 40-year-old grown man crying over his laundry cycle. Which brings us to our final segment, segment 4. Next week, chaos forecast.
Just casting the inevitable spirals.
Who is about to completely lose it next week. Prediction 1. Amanda's reckoning. Ben is not done with her. We saw the start of the conversation. But how is the rest of that confrontation going to play out? Will Amanda cry her way out of it like she usually does? Or will Ben hold her feet to the fire?
Ben operates with the cold ruthlessness of a lawyer. He will not be swayed by Amanda's signature weapon, the panicked victim tears. He will cross-examine her until she admits the malicious intent behind her statement. Amanda is going to spiral next week because her usual defense mechanisms, crying, looking confused, waiting for Kyle to yell, will be utterly ineffective against his calm logic.
I cannot wait to watch him dismantle her pick-me energy. I am popping popcorn. Prediction 2. Carl's sober eruption. Carl is a literal pressure cooker right now. He wants the rosé, he wants the cocaine, but he doesn't have them. Will he finally find his actual voice and explode on Kyle without needing the crutch?
The pressure has to release somewhere. The stuttering at the mini golf course was just the tremor before the earthquake. I predict Carl is going to harness his righteous indignation. The DJ equipment read was just a preview of his clarity. He is going to deliver a stone-cold, sober dismantling of Kyle's narcissism.
I am so ready for this.
And because he will be completely lucid and not screaming incoherently, it is going to cut Kyle deeper than any drunken fight ever could.
Yes. Let him have it, Carl. I want a calm, devastating read. And finally, prediction 3. West and Ciara's downfall. We have been seeing the foreshadowing all season, the impending doom of West flirting with other women right in front of Ciara.
The bubble is about to burst. West's mid-tier status as the lovable, goofy mediator is going to evaporate the very second he threatens Ciara's top-tier standing by disrespecting her publicly. If he thinks he can play both sides, courting the queen while acting like a single frat boy at the bar, he is going to face a swift and brutal execution. Ciara will cut him off without hesitation.
She will ruin him. She will ice him out so fast his head will spin, and I will be cheering with my mojito in hand. Babes, what a wild night this has been.
An absolute masterclass in analyzing human failure.
Confession chaos, mojito magic, bakery indulgence, summer house drama. We have covered it all. But now we turn it over to you.
The Snark Squad Board of Directors.
Are we insane for those confessions? Seriously, someone needs to validate the pocket tooth because I am still physically unwell thinking about it in that little emerald velvet bag.
It's perfectly sanitary.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this cast? Do you agree with our party fouls?
And babes, what's your secret? Drop your wildest, most unhinged confessions in our DMs. We want to read them, we want to judge them, we want to spiral with you.
Just no gummy barefoot requests, please. The inbox is closed to fetishists.
Shut down. Closed for business. Please rate, review, subscribe, send your submissions. Send this to your most chaotic bestie who needs a reality check on their own toxic relationships.
We appreciate your continued investment in our chaos.
Thank you, Snark Squad. You are the absolute best. Stay shady, stay iconic, and we'll see you on the Snark side. But wait, bestie, before we log off, I just have one final thought. If Ben's entire relationship with Sabrina was actually a premeditated 6-month covert operation just to secure a Bravo storyline, what does that say about the psychological profile of the men Bravo is recruiting? Are we watching reality TV or are we watching highly coordinated sociopathic chess?
Checkmate, babe. Sleep well.